6 o'clock, I'd like to call this school board meeting to order, and I'd like to stand and join us with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Anderson,
Present.
Vederper,
Present.
Kuchar, Holstein,
Present.
Yaris, Rabish present, Doobie,
Present.
7 present.
Okay. Move on, I guess I don't got too many comments today. Got our weather going, then we got the rain, and I guess the grown people didn't get much. But it'll help your grass grow in the fields out there and keep the maintenance guys doing lots of work. Any additions, deletions, or changes to the agenda?
Move to approve the agenda as printed.
And support. And support. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda. Any community comments on the agenda? Printed. Anybody? Seeing none? Okay. Yeah, Isabel. I wasn't gonna. Let me try it. Lorenzoni?
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so good evening. I'm Isabel when it's so that was close. I'm an exchange student and from the Rotary program, and now I'm hosted by the Rotary from Pinconning and Standish. And I'm the first exchange student that the club here is hosting. And I know there are some members here, so it's been a really good experience, and I'm glad for being the first one. And I hope that in the future we'll have more exchange students able to have this experience. And I came here tonight to thank you, the board meetings and members, because of the devotion that we had, mainly because of the seniors walking graduation, and to express how important it is. Because as an exchange student, I left home when I just turned 17 to come to a different country, and I left in the middle of my senior year because back home our school year starts in February and goes into December. So I was going to graduate as a senior in December. So I came here living in the middle of my senior year back home, and I started a year again. So that was really meaningful for me to being able to be treated as a senior, such as I was back home. And as an exchange student, we always know that when we go to different places, things are going to work in different ways. And we know that, and we know that we have to deal with that. But it's good to know that we have a community that is open to find new things that are going to make life better for exchange students like me in my situation. So just say thank you for everything. And I've been some activities at school, like in the play that we just finished this weekend. And I play basketball, and I go to all the things at school that I can. And it's been a really great year, and we are almost in the end of the school year. As seniors, we just have more 9 days, and it's done. So it was a really good experience, and again, thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, on to the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda and pay bills totaling $1,298,842.62.
Motion support, any discussion? Roll call?
Vederper,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Kuchar,
Yes.
Holstein,
Yes.
Yaris,
Yes.
Rabish, yes, Doobie,
Yes.
7-0.
On to communication, Mr. Paulcheck.
Thank you, Mr. Doobie. First off, we did have a bus accident today after school. 3 students were on the bus when someone supposedly went through a stop sign, dented our bumper on the bus. Everyone was fine, no injuries, but in case you've heard anything or hear something in the community, that did happen. The bus was actually driven back, and they had some work to do on the bumper, is what I was told. So we'll hear more about that in a little bit. And then I did want to show my appreciation and thank our students for working so hard over this past week on the play of the Mean Girls musical. But also, if you walk through our gym lobby area, you'll see all of the industrial arts projects. There must be 10 to 15 projects that receive state and regional recognition. There are some state champion projects in there, regional champion, but there's so many amazing things that our students have made in our metal and wood shop this year. So you get a chance to walk through there and see some of those projects. The Mount Forest cross-country parking area and path is being worked on. Our bids are due tomorrow to see if we have some excavators companies willing to make that path and take out some stumps and trees and to put the gravel down for the parking lot. One thing I wanted to bring up with you is that I went to the school that there was now some businesses in there, and just to talk to them a little bit. Very polite, nice, great relationship. You know, that we were talking about some things where they told us if we needed to use some of their parking areas during our meets. Like, it was great. And they did have some machinery on our land that as soon as I walked in, they said, "Yep, we're moving it. We know you're getting started on a cross-country track." But then they brought up and they showed me that the furthest north paved driveway that goes into the school, that is right in the middle of it is half our property, half theirs. And it goes right along the school, the side of the building, where they said, "We're actually driving to get behind the building on half of yours, half of our land." And we started talking. They asked if we would like to sell them some of that. I really wasn't interested in that. But they then said, "What about if we took 15, 20 feet this way, and you got 15 or 20 feet the other way where we're actually doing the parking area?" And I thought that was a great idea, where we're not driving behind their building anyway, and then we could get a little more area over there where some people may be parking. I haven't looked into how that works. I'm guessing there's lawyers involved and, you know, getting these changed and things. But I wanted to at least bring that to you, not seeing there would be an issue with that, you know, in any way. It's a kind of a win-win. So I'll look into that further and let you know as that goes. The administrators met a couple weeks ago, and we attended a MDR virtual conference. MDR is a manifestation determination review, and that is when we have students that have an IEP or a 504, our special education students, when they get over 10 days of suspension, we have to have a manifestation to see if their IEP was being followed, and to make sure that the reason they were suspended isn't part of the disability. There are so many rules and regulations with that, and different ways of interpreting it. It was great to have the administrators all sit in the same room and hear from the Troon Law Firm on the MDRs, just to get some more information, because it comes up quite often. And it is something that we're working on, because our suspensions for students with IEPs are pretty high in our county, and it's something that we're working on and looking at doing some things a little differently to try to make sure that we keep those numbers where they need to be. Facility assessment, you did approve of a facility assessment in the consent agenda, and just to give you a little information on that, it is free for us. I did meet with an architect company where they said that they would bring a mechanical engineer, a civil engineer, and an electrical engineer, also with the architect, to go through our buildings to just confirm kind of what Hendrick told us last year, and maybe extend a little further into what we need moving forward. in our buildings. So thank you for approving that, and I'll bring you that information. Maybe we'll even go have a committee meeting, once that information is brought back to us. And then end of year activities, May flies by with all the things that we have going. And it's nice, Mr. Woodruff did give you the senior events, and that was emailed out to parents. There is an update though that we need to get out to them, and there's a small change. But this it's on our social media posts, and it was emailed to our seniors. But just the things that are not even on here, just because it's not all senior activities, like we have a Renaissance Day coming up where the students get to do fun things outside. And that's in recognition of their hard work for the first semester. And MHSAA athletic tournaments are starting up, and I know Mr. Huber's here and may give a little bit on that, but it's pretty amazing that the spring sports are nearing the end already. But we're excited, and things are going very well. Any questions?
On the MDR, I know that's a volatile subject statewide.
Yeah.
There are a lot more behavior problems coming down the pipe. And the MEA, Michigan Education Association, they're kind of looking at the point that even though students may have an IEP or whatever, they're still each student have to follow the student handbook. So it's a matter of where is that violation, and does the IEP trump it, or where does that kind of boundary lie? You kind of get rid of that gray area. So I just think it's something we have to look at.
Yeah.
There's teachers have been assaulted. Not here.
Yeah.
Wow. We've had some issues, but it's statewide, and so it's about protecting our staff as part of it, and want to make sure everybody gets an education, but we want to make sure everybody, staff included, is safe. So I know the fight is kind of coming down between the federal IEP and our local student handbook. So just kind of be aware and look at what the MEA is putting out. I'm in kind of a unique situation just on that side. So.
Yep.
Anything else? Okay, student rep.
My name's Olivia Fedock, and I am a senior from Student Council. So for the AP Government class, the AP Government students will have the opportunity to hear from 3 political leaders during the final weeks of school. Sherry Betcher will speak on May 15th about her experience in local politics. Pinconning graduate Jason Morgan will speak on May 20th on his experiences as a county commissioner and state representative. Finally, Pinconning graduate Stacy LaRouche, press secretary for Governor Gretchen Whitmer, will speak on May 24th about her role in the governor's office. For Student Council officers for the 2024-2025 school year have been finalized. These students will begin meeting this summer to plan homecoming and other activities for the upcoming school year. The spring blood drive held on May 7th collected 20 pints of blood to help those in need in our community. Next year, Student Council will host one additional blood drive in January in an attempt to save even more lives. For the Middle School Student Council, the Middle School Student Council will be sponsoring a field day on Wednesday, May 15th. For prom 2024 will take place on Saturday, May 18th from 6 to 11 p.m. at the Great Hall in Midland. The dance theme is Masquerade. Tickets are $50 per person. On behalf of the senior events, the Senior Awards will take place on Thursday, May 23rd, 2024, beginning at 6:30 p.m. in the Middle School Gymnasium. All seniors and up to 6 guests are invited to attend. Seniors should wear their caps and gowns to this formal event. A new addition to the senior events will be the Senior Sunset, which will take place immediately following the Senior Award ceremony on the football field. Seniors will have the opportunity to socialize as they watch the sunset on their high school careers. The senior breakfast and senior walk will take place on Friday, May 24th. The breakfast, cooked by PAS administration, will take place in the Middle School Gymnasium at 8 a.m. Students will then get on buses to travel to Linwood Elementary, St. Mike's, and Central Elementary. At each stop, seniors will march through the hallways in their caps and gowns, saying goodbye to their former schools while being congratulated by the younger students for their accomplishments. For a middle school field trip, Mr. Thomas and Mr. Borden are beginning to organize a middle school trip to Washington, D.C. and Gettysburg from June 16th to June 19th, 2025.
The trip will cost roughly $1,000 per student and will feature a battlefield tour as well as traditional tourist attractions in DC, including Arlington Cemetery, memorials, and the Smithsonian. Middle school track and field. Pinconning will be hosting the middle school Jack Pine Conference Junior High Championship track meet tomorrow night. The field events begin at 4 p.m. and running events start at 4:30. That does it.
Yeah. Administrative staff.
Yeah, I'll just kind of quickly just go over, a lot of it was discussed with the student reps, Mr. Polchek. But you have a list of senior events there. The only change that we got sent out to parents, which it's been on our socials, is the senior awards from 7 to 6:30. And that is to accommodate that new senior sunset. Because we weren't sure we would be able to do it in time unless we made that move. Senior walk is already in that sheet that I gave you. So if any of the board members want to come to any of those locations to see the seniors walk through the elementary schools, you're absolutely more than welcome. Also, our 8th grade graduation is Thursday, May 16th, so this Thursday.
Testing is about to be wrapped up. Our last AP test will be Thursday. And then we had PD last week on Wednesday, so it's nice to have all the staff together for the kind of the big last hurrah before we close out the school year. Lots of plans in store, just kind of moving forward and thoughts for next year. We're just wrapping up towards the end. Some new curriculum coming down that we'll discuss later. Moving forward.
I guess I'll go next. All right. Kind of like what Mr. Polchek touched base on. Sports kind of flew by. We're actually already in districts, regionals here, which is crazy. But just a few other events coming up too. We have our co-ed varsity track team. Regional starts in Charlevoix. It's on 5/16. And then our JPC conference is at Meridian. That's on 5/21. Boys golf have their Bay County Championship tournament at 5/17. Girls are just got announced actually over the weekend. They're playing at Gladwin, and that's on 5/22. Softball districts and boys are girls are going to be at Oscoda on 5/31, and the boys are going to be at Tawas 6/1. So a lot of events coming up here towards the end. So come on out.
ESRB will have the graduation on Wednesday, the 15th, in the middle school gym at 6 o'clock.
Thank you, Jay. Sue?
Yes. I'd like to thank you for our food contract that's been approved for the next 5 years. That we've been here 25, so that's working on 30 years. So we really, really enjoy the relationship that we have with King County Schools and hope to see it continue on. Thank you.
Right.
Most of my stuff I talked about already. The only thing that I can talk about is we've started the transition process with the 5th graders. Both elementaries visited last week, 5th graders. And then our student council was able to go to the meeting last week.
Okay.
Senior,
Yeah, okay.
there's only 2 members there, Andy, myself and Grant. And Andy presented a project called the Inspire Project. It's a program that's being used in lieu of suspending students from school for various violations of the handbook. It's an education package. The idea is to treat the students and try and change their behavior through education. And Andy presented that, asked the board to be interested in that, and we said yes. We feel the board that would be something the board would be interested in looking at. He's going to explore that further. The other item was AP online classes with the addition of more online classes being utilized by our students. The question came up, how do we address AP? Hasn't been done in the past. Our AP classes are on a 5-point scale. And so the question Andy asked is, should the AP online classes also be 5? And we're concerned with the online factor that it's not under guidance, and there's an opportunity for students to use additional materials that aren't supposed to be allowed. So under 2 circumstances, we said he could consider adopting a policy that would allow a 5-point scale. Our recommendation would be to allow the 5-point scale if they scored a 3 or higher on the AP exam. That would show that they were absorbing the material. And the other would be if they were to utilize a service such as the 21F, where there's a teacher in the classroom, as long as the teacher could be available when they were taking those online AP classes, we could also then support the 5 scale. Again, that's just a recommendation for these 2 board members, and it's going to develop a policy and bring it to the local board for further discussion.
Where do those AP courses offered for?
You, is it Michigan? No, the AP is, I think it might just be Michigan Virtual. I don't remember. I know they have, I looked to make sure to see which classes there even are AP wise, and there were quite a few of them. But it's a teacher, you know what I mean? It's not just the online computer thing where you're not interacting. It's
So there is some oversight.
Yes.
On their part.
yes, it's like a 21F, not like the online class. There's an instructor in charge of it, but our concern is that instructor can't see what they're doing, what they have open, you know, while they're taking those tests, and with it being a 5-point scale, that's pretty important to the class rank.
Yeah, and I know universities have been a lot to try to, you know, launch the exams, have cameras on them, nothing
Yeah.
like that, and all kinds of stuff, so I'd be interested to see kind of how they're gonna operate that.
No other, any other discussion on policy meeting? Okay, non-consent agenda. Sue, you.
I make a motion to approve the food service management contract with Chartwell's as presented.
Motion support. Any discussion? Roll call.
Yaris,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Bedford,
Yes.
Kuchar,
Yes.
Holstein,
Yes.
Rabish, yes, Dubig,
Yes.
7-0.
Approve the roof replacement project.
I'll move to approve the bid from Thomas Brown and Son for the middle school, high school, and Central Elementary roof replacement project not to exceed $431,340.
Motion and support. Any discussion?
Is this going to be done over the summer?
We're hoping.
This summer, they're,
That's what we, yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it hasn't been set for sure yet, but it's very
That's the
difficult to
plan.
do during, yeah.
Now,
School session. Well, due to the noise, really, I mean, they could do it, but the noise and the pound, and we want it done before school starts.
that was it. This is just the only roof that we were recommending.
It's there were 3 different levels, 1, 2, and 3, where 1 was immediate, 2 like within 5 years, and 3 was good, like 15, so it was 1 and 2.
Okay.
Is there a contingency built into this?
For
The money? Because it's always overruns.
I don't know. I don't. This is what the bid that came in. No, we may have to. I see what you're saying. Yeah, if they find some big issues or something, then there could be things we have to come back.
Right.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? Motion and support. Roll call.
Yaris,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yeah.
Bedford,
Yeah.
Kuchar,
Yes.
Holstein,
Yes.
Rabish, yes, Dubig,
Yes.
7-0.
And the math textbooks.
I make a motion we approve the purchase of math textbooks.
Support.
Or, what's the, oh, on this side. Yeah, not to exceed the 45,975.60.
795.60. Yeah.
Motion support. Any discussion? Other? Roll call.
Bedford,
Yes.
Kuchar,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Holstein,
Yes.
Yaris,
Yeah.
Ravitch, yes, Doobie,
Yes.
7-0.
Okay, now on to public comments. I think we've heard from most of the public. Administrators, right? Pick them out. None? Greg?
I'll throw something out there, just so you got one. Tom's mention of contingencies, when I was doing large contracts with City of Midland, what we would do was include depending on the size of the contract, 10% or 5%, that, in that case, the city manager, I guess in this case, he could approve without coming back to the board, so that if something comes up, you don't have to wait for board meeting. Just build it into the approval, so that it's there.
Yeah, and he has, we changed it, what, 30? That you can approve up to,
Yeah, usually you've already approved $400,000, you can approve 30 on top of that on the same.
right, unless it was something of a
Right.
different sort that
Right,
came up.
yeah, basically change orders up
Right.
to.
Discussion items. One I have is there's a new evaluation coming, and from the superintendent, I've already spoke to the person that would do the training for us. They'd come up to 3 hours. So, and they won't do like a Zoom, like unless you were like active military or gone. So, she said, of course, Monday is her absolute best day. Mondays or Fridays. We'll, if everybody will just text me what works. She said we can work out. She's coming out of Flint. So she said it's not that big of a deal. And she can. Yeah.
Want to try to do it on Monday in between our meetings or Monday after our meeting?
First, after the meeting, we're till 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night. We can't really do earlier. Got few, so.
I'm fine doing it on.
That's all over the place.
Yeah.
Some days it's bad, some days it's not.
So, yeah, just shoot the, if you have no preference, then you're okay. We'll go from there, and then we've got the busiest schedules, we'll see, we'll try to work around
I
it.
can work out my work schedule.
She said we're good for now. Huh?
Yeah, 2 weeks from now?
No, she said we're good for now because we've already done this year's, so, they would absolutely by September be,
Do the evaluation itself.
yeah,
So you can have training sometime between now and then.
right. She was hoping by September.
I mean, it'd be better to do it closer to the date, so we don't forget it.
Right. So that's coming up. Anything else? Okay, then that concludes our business except for, we have some closed sessions to do. Need a motion?
Move to go into closed session, for this hearing.
I have motion support.
Support.
Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I see your hand up.